Hi guys, the time has finally come for the nursery reveal. If you're new here, welcome. Baby is due to be here in August, and we've been working so hard over these last couple of months to completely transform this space. I have been dreaming of designing a nursery. I've been saving things to my Pinterest board for the past couple of years, so this project has been very, very special. We don't know the gender of the baby. We're going to be completely surprised, so we opted for a gender neutral nursery. We went with a wallpaper from Nestig. It's called Busy Brook. It reminds me of the countryside with little farm animals and trees. We hope to have a bunch of land someday and raise our kids loving the outdoors, so we decided to go for a sunny countryside theme. This was the worst room in the house, and it took tons of planning and DIY projects to turn it into a magical little nursery. So let's do a quick recap of where we started and all the projects that we tackled to turn this into our dream nursery space. For the past couple of years, this room has been a junk room. It had a closet in the corner that was pretty dysfunctional, and it had an extra door going into the home office. When my dad was in town, he helped us demo this entire area and hang drywall to create a nice blank wall. After that, there was still mudding and sanding to do, as well as patching in some of the old parquet flooring. With that done, it was time to go through all the junk and either throw away, donate, or organize everything neatly. Just a quick note, for all the projects I'm about to share, I have a full tutorial for each of them with tool lists and material lists, so I will link every project tutorial in the description below. Now that we have a nice blank wall, I was able to add in some more functional storage. We went with two IKEA PAX wardrobe systems that are about 40 inches wide, 23 inches deep, and 93 inches tall. I customized the interior so we have lots of drawers, shelves, and closet rods to help keep us organized as the baby grows older. After assembling all the pieces, I secured each wardrobe into each corner of the back wall. I installed all the interior organizers and added some blocking around the sides and top of each unit to attach my trim to. I left a gap at the wall and covered it with some trim. I will be adding base trim and crown molding later on to make it look more like a high-end built-in wardrobe. Next up is wallpaper. Nestig gifted us this beautiful wallpaper. It reminds me of the countryside that Devin and I grew up loving. We're going for a sunny countryside theme and decorating this nursery based off this wallpaper. I'm only hanging wallpaper on the top half, so I sanded down some of the texture on our walls and primed the walls with a special primer. After the primer was dry, I applied the wallpaper paste right to the walls and then hung the wallpaper, smoothing it out to get rid of any air bubbles. In my full tutorial, I go in depth on how to prep your walls, what tools and materials you need, and some other great tips on hanging wallpaper, so check that out if you've got a wallpaper project coming up. After wallpaper was window trim. I removed the old caulking from the windows, cut and notched out a stool piece, and installed new window jambs out of pine and then secured those with brad nails. I also installed new window casing as well as an apron piece underneath the stool. This trim totally elevated the window and the overall look of this room. After everything was installed, I filled nail holes, caulked, and then primed the trim. Next, we worked on the bottom half of the walls. I removed all the old base trim and then used glue and brad nails to secure hardboard to the bottom half of the walls to create a smooth surface for our picture molding. After the hardboard was installed, I secured chair rail molding above the hardboard. Next, I installed new base trim and shoe trim around the entire room and even at the bottom of the IKEA wardrobes. The crown molding was a tough project because our walls and ceilings are so janky, but with Devin's help, we figured it out, and I'm so glad that we did because it makes such a big difference in this room. Picture molding was next. I cut down all the detailed trim pieces and then secured the trim to the walls with brad nails. In my full tutorial, I share how to determine the size and spacing of the boxes. It's a very helpful tutorial if you've never installed this type of trim before. This might have been the most tedious part of the nursery makeover, filling all the nail holes in the trim, sanding, and caulking every seam. It took hours and hours, but it's a small detail that you don't want to skip. After that, it was time for paint. I used a creamy white paint on the bottom half of the walls, ended up not liking it, then repainted it Swiss Coffee by Benjamin Moore. I was having bad luck with paint colors because when it was time to paint the trim, I first went with this super light pastel yellow on the closets and the trim, but it ended up looking like highlighter yellow, so I repainted again, and this time with a more golden yellow called Restrained Gold by Sherwin-Williams. The last major project was installing the closet doors. I painted these out in the workshop, and then Devin helped me install them. Finally, it was time to pull together all the final touches, like laying out the new rug, installing drawer pulls on the new dresser, and hanging some floating picture ledges for our growing book collection. In a previous video, I shared this Pottery Barn inspired book house project. Pottery Barn sells similar ones for over $1,000, but I made this one for under $100. Unfortunately, after putting all the big furniture items in here, we didn't have room for the book house, so we'll have to find another room in the house to put it in for now. After years of this being a junk room and then a construction zone, it's finally a beautiful, serene nursery, and we cannot wait to welcome our little blessing home to it. In this crib nook, we have the woodland cloud crib and cute airplane mobile that was gifted by Nestig. It starts as a mini crib that we can wheel into our bedroom, then it converts into a full-size crib and toddler bed. All, when extended, will still fit into this little nook in between the closets. Even though baby isn't here here yet, I love lounging in this corner. This crew power recliner was gifted by Namesake, and it's got all the bells and whistles like a power reclining function. It also glides, swivels, and has USB ports. We are going to be spending lots of late nights and early mornings in this chair, so it was really important to go with something comfortable and cozy. And last but not least, we have our diaper changing station. This Brimsley 6-drawer dresser was also gifted by Namesake. It's a great height for changing diapers, and it fits our Kikaroo changing pad perfectly. They have so many beautiful and timeless pieces that are made with quality products. I have had so much fun designing this space and working on projects with Devin. It's the most special room makeover that I've done so far, and I love spending time in here. It's so peaceful and bright, and I think it might be my new favorite room in the house. Like I mentioned earlier, you can find all of the room sources in a blog post linked in the description below. I might throw out a nesting/organizing video before baby gets here, depending on timing. Either way, once baby does get here, I'll be taking a little bit of time off YouTube. I will be sharing some updates on my Instagram though, so be sure you're following me over there. Thank you guys so much for watching this nursery makeover series. We are so excited for this new phase of life, and we really appreciate those of you who choose to follow along. I'll see you guys in the next video, maybe with a baby in tow.